all of a sudden we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA anymore.
Here I am, Nancy Pelosi, saying this country needs a strong Republican Party, and we do.
So, Brandon, I agree.
They have cans of soup, and they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup from my family. They're so innocent. This is soup from my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's a perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup from my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people.
Hello? Hello? Is this thing on? Hello? Hello? Is this... Hello? Is it... Hello? Is it on? Hello? Does anyone know if it's on? Testing. 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 Hello? Hello? Max, what the hell? Max, what the hell? Max, what the hell? Max, what the hell? Hello, users! Welcome to another episodic installation of the gosh darn, also known as the motherfuck. This is the Above It All Show 1700. This is the 1700th edition of the program. This is it's a lot of programs, and I'd like to say once again, very similarly to yesterday, I'm going to take it easy today. I am not going to be doing that long of a show, because even though it is the 1700th show, my arm hurts still from my COVID vaccination. You can see this is my arm. This is my arm, and it hurts. So, it hurts from the COVID vaccination. So, as a result, I have taken amounts unknown of medical marijuana. So, just kind of riding it out. Did not sleep too well last night or the night before. So, so there you go. My flu arm, this arm, it honestly, like right now, my flu arm and my COVID arm are like an equal pain. But I feel like my flu arm is intensifying over time, and my COVID arm is de-intensifying. So like both of them, they're hitting equilibrium. but I'm consuming some medical marijuana. And so I'm a little fucked up today. So yeah, my show will not be that long. As a result, I might do a stream tonight. I'm not sure. So don't count on it. All right, count on it. I'm going to do a stream tonight. I'm going to be continuing the Spook-Sixular tonight. I've decided, just now, I'm going to do a stream tonight. It won't be a terribly long stream, but I do have another horror-adjacent game for the PlayStation. So definitely follow me on twitch.tv. I was thinking about taking today off, but fuck it. You know what? Give me another 8 hours. I'm going to be hopped up on drugs. You know, join in on the Twitch stream tonight. I'll give you a hint. If you like Max the Dog, you will love the game that I will play part 2 of the Spook-Sixular video game edition. Hi Max, you got a tennis ball? Can I have one? Nope. I can't have one. All right. But yes, I am a weak little bitch, and my arms hurt. So, anyway, I am consuming some medically enhanced covfefe. It's got some medical. But let's talk about some good news, everybody. I talk a lot on my show about bad news. I often, I'm just consumed with the bad news. But let's talk about some good news. And in Maryland, a state I used to live in for many years, I lived in Maryland. And so I am familiar with Maryland. Not this familiar in regards to this new law that's being passed in Maryland. But a lot of people think Maryland is a blue state. Well, you think that. Got a Republican in office as the governor. But anyway, Maryland's got some good news. And that's the child marriage is going to be less common in Maryland. That's right, child marriage was legal up until yesterday. Or I guess September 30th. It's still legal, but you have to be a little bit of an older child. That's right. A Maryland law is increasing the legal age for marriage to 17. It's among several that went into effect in the state and D.C. on Saturday. The legal age to get married in Maryland has been increased by 2 years. The minimum age used to be 15, and those minors will only be allowed to get hitched if they have permission of each living parent or guardian. They can also petition a court. So, I think we should really take some time to acknowledge some of the positive changes that are happening. Child marriage is less legal than it was the other day in Maryland. So, shout outs to Maryland, really advancing to the 21st century here. But good stuff. So, shout outs to Maryland. A chat union rep. Who's the union rep for the chat? Vote amongst yourselves. Hello, T. Rexodus. Are you new here? Letterhack, you used to live in Maryland too. Excellent. Gotta be honest, I'm not a fan of Maryland. So yeah, I'm doing a show today. Once again, a little low energy today. I probably won't hit the hour mark for today on the Above It All show. I'm still trying to recover. I might take a nap. I took a nap yesterday. And so I might take another nap today. I will stream tonight on twitch.tv. Going to be continuing the Spook-Sixular with a horror adjacent video game for the Sony PlayStation. And so if you want to follow me on twitch.tv, that would be great. So there you go. I watch your Doom speedrunning videos, but I'm big into leftist politics as well, so I wanted to watch your show for the first time. Incredible. It's the ideal viewer. Really? T. Rexodus, ideal viewer. as far as Doom speedrunning is concerned, this morning I got a new record in Memento Mori, map 24. I've been going into the Memento Moris recently, trying to get some more demos done for that, get some of the records that I never did previously, so I'll be uploading those in the near future to the YouTube channel. Yeah, so if you know what that is or what that means, then excellent. If you don't, sucks to be you, because you're really missing out. But anyway, so I'm doing a show today. I apologize that the first show that people may be watching is a little low energy, but again, I just got my COVID vaccination, so I'm still a little sore. And, but, you know, I'm not too sore. I'm not too sore to talk about. Let's talk about Guinea. Guinea's in the news again. Guinea, you know Guinea. Guinea of the Thomas variety, Guinea. Guinea's in the news. Donald Trump was at a rally in Michigan. And so this is what Donald Trump has to say about Guinea. Let's listen.
To thank a great woman.
Let me turn this fucking volume up. Come on, Aaron Rupar, you little fucking prick. Turn this shit up. Come on now.
Named Ginny Thomas. Do you know Ginny Thomas?
So again, Donald Trump he's slurring his words, mispronouncing her name as per usual. Not something he's unfamiliar with. But he's going to be talking about Guinea here. So Guinea apparently was being subpoenaed by the January 6th committee. And so let's listen.
She's a great woman. The wife of a great man, Justice Clarence Thomas, for her courage and strength in saying, according to the standard and routine leaks from the committee, you know, everything leaks out of those committees. They're like a leaking sieve. They're just like a leaking sieve. But she said that she still...
Can we talk about this guy? Well, first of all, this guy not even paying attention. This guy's bored as hell. Like, she is, like, peaking on, like, ecstasy right now. Like, look at this fucking bitch. Holy shit. Okay. But let's talk about this guy. Like, I just see this shirt, and I'm thinking to myself, holy shit. Okay. Bikers for Trump, and then it's got, like, the bike, and then it's 2024? So, is it, like, a Trump 2024? Like, who knows what's going on here? But anyway, so we're talking about Guinea. This guy is super happy. He's like, whoa, I'm goddamn. Like, he's wearing his, like, fucking faded ass American flag t-shirt that he got in the 1980s or whatever. Like, I mean, like, this is a crowd right here. Jesus is my savior, God bless. Right? She is like, oof, took one too many Percocets. Right? Like, I mean, like, this is one hell of a crowd. You got this. I mean, I just gotta say, wow, we got one. All right. So okay, so we're talking about Guinea Thomas. Let's listen.
Still believes the 2020 election was stolen. She didn't say...
So once again, the 2020 election was not stolen. Joe Biden won the 2020 election because he got more votes. That's why it's not that difficult. Donald Trump lost the 2020 election because he got less votes. He's a loser. He lost. Joe Biden won. So just throwing that out there.
Oh, well, I'd like not to get involved. Of course, it was a wonderful election. It was a rigged and stolen election.
So I just, you know, otherwise YouTube will ban me. It was not a rigged and stolen election because Joe Biden won because he got more votes. So real quick, just throwing that out there. Got to correct the record.
She didn't wait and sit around and say, well, let me give you maybe a different answer that I've been saying for the last 2 years now. No.
Okay, I was joking earlier, but this bitch is definitely on something. Okay, I was making a joke earlier about her peaking on ecstasy, but I need you to, like, look at the way she's moving. I mean, I'm losing it. Okay, pay attention to this fucking bitch. All right, hold up.
Saying for the last 2 years now. She didn't wilt under pressure like so many others that are weak people.
What is she doing? Why is she doing that? Oh my God. Okay, I'm not even listening to Donald Trump. I'm so concerned with these people in the background that are on drugs. Okay, what is he saying?
Didn't wilt under pressure like so many others that are weak people and stupid people, because once they wilt, they end up being a witness for a long time. She said what she thought. She said what she believed in. Too many Republicans are weak and they're afraid.
All right, I don't really even care what he's saying. I'm just looking at the background. So anyway, so Donald Trump is defending Guinea. So you might be wondering what the fuck's going on with Guinea. So I got a CNN article. We're going to find out about Guinea. Trump defends great woman Guinea Thomas after Jan 6 testimony. So there's a video associated here, but I don't care. Former President Donald Trump praised the courage and strength of Guinea Thomas at a rally Saturday, days after the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas met with the congressional investigators about her efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 election. Once again, Joe Biden won the 2020 election. You want to know why? You want to know how? He got more votes. It's not really that complicated. In a 4.5-hour meeting with investigators on Thursday, Thomas discussed her marriage to the conservative justice, claiming in an open statement obtained by CNN that she did not speak with him at all about the details of my volunteer campaign activities. Even if you didn't speak in any capacity about it, like, just the fact that you're fucking married to each other, right, and that you support each other in that fashion, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you talk about it. It's the unspoken rule, right? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, it's not like you don't have to sit in a back room filled with cigar smoke to fucking come out with this conspiracy. It's not that difficult. You just wink and a nod and both are on the same page here. Thomas, who attended Trump's Stop the Steal rally on January 6, 2021, landed on the radar of the House Select Committee investigating the attack at the U.S. Capitol after text messages exchanges she had with then White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows about election fraud claims surfaced during the ongoing congressional probe. Now again, Clarence Thomas ruled in an official Supreme Court ruling, right, that would have blocked looking at all of this kind of stuff. So isn't that interesting, you know? It's always... You know, even if they're not conspiring in the smoke-filled back room, they're somehow always on the same page. I wonder why. Thomas had significant concerns about blah, 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 and as she told the committee, her minimal and mainstream activity focused on ensuring that reports of fraud and irregularities were investigated. Her attorney, Mark Palalata, said after her closed-door testimony, she's just rarely concerned. She's so goddamn fucking concerned. During a campaign appearance in Michigan, Trump claimed that Thomas had told the House panel she still believes the 2020 election was stolen. I hope not, because it wasn't. And if you believe that, you're dumb. Commending her because she didn't wilt under the pressure. Do you know Guinea Thomas? The former president polled the crowd. She didn't say blah, blah, blah. Anyway, that's just the video we watched. No. Anyway, there you go. So she is still a crazy ass bitch. And this bitch is on drugs. That bitch probably on drugs. This guy's just high on life. And I don't know what the fuck's going on at these rallies. But it's pretty interesting for sure. But there's Donald Trump. There's Guinea. Once again, Joe Biden is the winner of the 2020 election. Anyone who disagrees is a dumbass. And there you go. That's all I have to say on that subject. But there you go. My arm hurts. This segment is classic Andrea. Is that like the segment is classic and you forgot a comma and you're talking to me? Or is the segment like just the segment itself is like a distilled classic me? Like what's happening? The way I say Meadows, well, I used to play video games with a lot of Europeans, and Europeans, oftentimes, like, we're not talking about UK people that speak English. We're talking about, like, Germans, Ukrainians. We're talking about, like, fucking French people, right? They love to, like, mispronounce words. I don't know if they love to, but they do. And so I used to do a lot of gaming stuff with Europeans. And one of the things that I love is that they pronounce it Mido. Like, and I just love that. So I pronounce Mido, because why not? So, there you go. That's where I got that from. So shout outs to the European gamers. But yep, there's more going on. There's more going on at this Michigan rally. I don't have a video for this one, but I also didn't look too hard. So, Tudor Dixon, which, once again, I'm not convinced is a real name or person. But Tudor Dixon seeks a culture war in a campaign against Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. This is the headline from CNN. So there's a rally in Michigan that I just played a clip from. Tudor Dixon was there. I didn't have any clips for this. Maybe if I find one, maybe I'll do it again tomorrow. But, you know. Tudor Dixon, the Republican taking on Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer in November's midterm election, is turning to tactics that have worked for other Republican winners in competitive governor races as she seeks to turn the race into a cultural battle over education, transgender athletes, and more. Isn't that great? But her clash with a well-funded Democratic incumbent governor, one taking place in a state where a referendum that would enshrine abortion rights in the state constitution has emerged as a dominant issue, is showcasing the limits of those efforts at cultural appeals to the moderate suburban voters who could... What are these, like... You ever think about, like... Do the people that say, like, suburban voters, do they even know what that means? Okay, now, I ask you the next question. Do suburban voters, people that live in suburbs and vote, do they even know what suburban voters mean? Like, I'm just like, what the fuck? What is this, like, language that we have developed here to talk about politics? Suburban voters. What does that mean? Like, if you ask people what it means, they, like, will talk about, like, white soccer moms, you know, like, middle-class white soccer moms. But, like, those are not the only people that live in the suburbs, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just these terms. National Republicans have largely abandoned Dixon in the race's closing weeks, leaving her outspent and floundering in one of the nation's most important swing states. Dixon sought to change the race's trajectory on Saturday when former President Donald Trump traveled to Michigan for a rally in Warren with Dixon with other GOP candidates, including... Trump called Whitmer, quote, one of the most radical, most sinister governors in America. Sinister. Is that a movie? Isn't there a movie called Sinister? Criticizing her support for abortion rights and Michigan's pandemic-related lockdowns, the former president, echoing Dixon's focus on cultural issues and education, called Dixon a national leader in the battle to protect our children by getting race and gender ideology out of the classroom. Now, again, I genuinely ask this. Any one of these people, if you are watching, leave a comment. What the fuck is race ideology and gender ideology? What are these things? What is the ideology of race? What is that? What is the ideology of gender? Can you describe, like, just what the fuck this is? Like, I don't think anybody complaining or concerned about these things could possibly describe what the fuck they're even talking about. Trump's attack on Whitmer as sinister is the latest in a series of rhetorical escalations by the former president. On Friday, he said on his social media website, True Social, that the top Senate Republican Mitch McConnell had a death wish after Congress approved stopgap funding to avert a government shutdown. Dixon, meanwhile, spoke twice Saturday, once before Trump and once again when Trump invited her on stage, and as she lambasted Whitmer, the crowd repeated a familiar Trump rally chant, this time directed at Whitmer rather than the 2016 presidential nominee, Hillary Clinton. Lock her up! It's gotta lock her up. For why? I don't know. For what? Gender ideology. Well, what's that? I don't know. Lock her up. Dixon, a conservative commentator and first-time candidate, emerged from a crowded primary after receiving the financial support of former Trump Education Secretary Betsy DeVos's family. The Michigan GOP megadonors funded a super PAC bolstering Dixon's campaign, and Trump waded into the race in the closing days of the primary with a Dixon endorsement that came after a handwritten letter from DeVos urged him to back Dixon. Didn't DeVos, like, resign or some shit after January 6th? Wasn't she one of the... So interesting that they're back on the same team. The Dixon campaign is seeking to get his name ID up, and the MAGA base fully engaged to close the polling gap. That is what they hope to gain from a Trump rally in Macomb County. So anyway, you can read the rest of this. It's just talking about things that we've already looked into on my channel. Is Tudor Dixon's campaign's not going well. Similarly to Dr. Oz, the National Republican Party, you know, just completely dropping her. There's a poll that came out that had Tudor Dixon at 38%. 38%. That is like, wow. Like, in a governor's race, that is like, whoa, buddy, like, Jesus, 38%. So it's probably, and especially with all the constitutional amendments on the ballot, I would say it's pretty safe to say that Whitmer's going to win this one. But I just think that the flailing from these people, honestly, pretty hilarious. And the idea that Gretchen Whitmer is sinister, I mean, sinister, I don't know. But coming from someone named Tudor Dixon, which I'm pretty sure not even a real name, but I don't know, Gretchen, like, Gretchen is also, like, a weird name. Like, let's be honest, Gretchen, like, was she born in, like, 1863? I don't know. But either way, Gretchen is at least a name I've heard before. My grandparents had a dog named Gretchen when I was growing up, so it's at least a name I've heard before. Tudor Dixon. I don't know what that is. So anyway, there you go. The culture war, folks. Because fuck actually caring about citizens. Fuck, infrastructure, clean water, clean food, clean air, clean jobs, fuck all of that shit. Let's talk about racial ideology in schools. You know what I mean? So anyway, there you go. So, that's the show. That's a show. Well, it's a show. Once again, I'd love to say that I will be streaming a horror adjacent game for the Spook Sixular tonight on twitch.tv. Be sure to follow. I will say this much. I will probably start the stream at around 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So let me just say that much. 7 p.m. Eastern Time-ish. So, do I like Among Us? I've never seen it or played it. I don't know anything about it other than the people ask me that question. I love German stuff except for Nazi shit. Well, there you go. Goddamn big Gretch, you know what I'm saying? Maxie, what the fuck? Are you hearing this, dog? Maxie, calm the fuck down. Are you hearing that shit? Are you okay? Alright, he's fine. Max, you smell like dog! Max, you smell like dog! Max, you smell like dog! He's circling me. Max, you smell like dog! Max, you smell like dog. Like, he'd have an easier time breathing if you put the ball down, but he needs to hold the ball. Look at this. Max, what the fuck are you doing? Look at this dog! Holy shit! I can't believe this is happening. This is some great content. Check this out. Wow. I've never played a PS4, 3, or 5. Oh, and there we go. So anyway, that's the Max the Dog segment. Once again, if you want to join me on the Twitch stream tonight, there will be a Max the Dog segment on the Twitch stream. It's already confirmed. It's already lined up. So follow me on there. So we got another piece of news. We got some news. Today is a big day if you live in the country of Brazil, because there's an election going on. You might not know this. So polls put Lula on the brink of a comeback victory over Bolsonaro in Brazil. So there's an election going on in Brazil. Now, again, this is a bizarre story. Lula is the former president of Brazil, and then he retired. He's like, all right, I did my thing. I'm going to get the hell out of here. And then a bunch of right-wingers basically just destroyed the government and took it over. And Lula was thrown in jail for some trumped-up, made-up charges. And then now he's out of jail, and now he's about to win the election. Now, it's looking pretty good for Lula in this election here. But let's read this. This is from The Guardian. So, who knows what's going to be in this piece. Brazil's former left-wing president, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, is on the brink of an astonishing political comeback, with polls suggesting he is poised to defeat his far-right rival, Jair Bolsonaro, in Sunday's election. Eve of election polls suggest Lula was within a whisker of securing the overall majority of votes that would guarantee him a first-round victory. So what happens is if you get 50% plus 1, you win. If you get, let's say, 49% and your opponent gets like 43%, but you get the plurality, but it's not a majority, it enters a runoff, which would take place at the end of the month. So that basically just gives more time for, Bolsonaro to fuck around, and who knows what would happen, right? So, it's better if Lula wins on the first round, but, as long as he wins either way, that's the good part. Quote, I'm going to win these elections so I can give the people the right to be happy again. The people need, deserve, and have the right to be happy once more, Lula, 76, told journalists on Saturday during a visit to Sao Paulo, one of the election's 3 key battlegrounds alongside the states of Rio de Janeiro and Minas Gerais. Jose Roberto de Toledo, a political columnist for the news website UAll, said Lula would undoubtedly come out on top when 156 million citizens voted in what is considered Brazil's most important election in decades. Pollsters give the leftist veteran a 14-point lead over Bolsonaro, the hardline nationalist. So Bolsonaro's just garbage, man. Like, Bolsonaro, dumpster fire. Like, this guy's burning down the Amazon, killing indigenous people. He got COVID like 89 times, right? There's there's actual political assassinations that have been tied to his family. His family has mafia connections and gangster connections that have done literal political assassinations directly tied to his son, his family. He's got corrupt motherfuckers all over the government. So again, Brazil's right wing, they are really fucked up motherfuckers, right? So who knows what's going to go on here. And also, who even knows if Bolsonaro would give up power? I mean, Bolsonaro was really good friends with Donald Trump and Donald Trump's White House. Again, Bolsonaro visited the United States, but in a rare move, went to the CIA before he met with the president. Why would that happen? Who knows? But when he came to the United States in 2018, he met with the CIA before anything else. That's very weird. So anyway, who knows if Bolsonaro's got military ties that are willing to basically overtake the country and put it into a military junta once again. People in the right wing of Brazil have threatened that. So I don't know. I don't live in Brazil, so I can't really tell you how likely any of these scenarios are. All I can do is read the news. But Toledo feared Lula might just fall short of the 50% required to avoid a fractious runoff against Bolsonaro on 30th of October, opening the door to a month of uncertainty and political violence. Quote, I think what's more likely is that there will be a second round, Toledo said, warning of terrible consequences if that occurred, given the wave of attacks and murders that have marred the lead up to the election. There's a lot of political violence on Bolsonaro's side. And again, a lot of it is directly tied to Bolsonaro and his family. Again, there have been literal political assassinations that have been directly tied to Bolsonaro's family. So again, there's a lot of fucked up bullshit going on in Brazil. If there's a second round, it'll be much worse than what it has been thus far. It would mean 4 weeks of gore, Toledo warned, adding, I hope I'm wrong. If Lula does prevail, it would represent a once unthinkable political resurrection for a former factory worker and union leader who became Brazil's first working class president in 2002. Lula stepped down after 2 terms in 2010 with approval ratings close to 90%. But the following decade saw the Workers' Party he helped found embroiled in a tangle of corruption scandals and accused of plunging Brazil into a brutal recession. Now, again, most, if not all, of these charges of corruption are basically just right-wing setups. Now, again, is the Workers' Party perfect? Absolutely not. Have they made mistakes? Absolutely. But I mean, when you compare them to how Bolsonaro's been governing, I don't know, man. You know what I mean? So now, again, it's come out that a lot of these so-called corruption charges have been made up. Of course, the most famous or infamous one being the one that put Lula in jail. He was jailed for something that didn't even happen, didn't even exist. It was totally made up. And then he was exonerated, and now that's why he's able to run for president again. But anyway, there you go. That's what's going on in Brazil. So hopefully Lula wins. If Lula won in Brazil, it would definitely be a pretty big event in world history. Why? Well, Brazil is one of the largest countries in the world. It's the largest in South America. It's got a lot of power geopolitically, and it's also a little bit of a bellwether for, again, South America, typically, historically, has been where a lot of left-wing governments have come out. Of course, now, again, the United States and other countries love to involve themselves in these left-wing wins and kill left-wing leaders. Of course, what happened in 1970s in Chile, other governments, of course. So whenever a left-winger wins in South America, watch out, because the U.S. is going to be plotting against them pretty quickly. But again, there has been a lot of somewhat good left-wing stuff coming out of South America, and so Brazil having Lula win would be pretty big news. But again, I don't know if anyone is going to turn a country into a military junta. I believe Bolsonaro would be top among that list. So, it's definitely not over yet. Winning an election in Brazil, doesn't mean victory in the same way that in the United States. Joe Biden won the election in 2020, and look at what almost happened in this country, right? So again, winning an election is just part one of a multi-step process, but hopefully everyone in Brazil doesn't, have to deal with any more of the shit that's been going on. Because Bolsonaro, man, that guy's pretty terrible. And also, it would be good to have more countries to root for, because right now we have a pretty short list. But anyway, definitely going to keep an eye on that one. So there you go. Max, are you okay? Max, you sound like you're gonna die. Are you hearing this dog? Also, thank you, Lindsay, for the cool membership. Thank you for that. Yeah, I will say this once again. I'm advertising this, so you better fucking show up, motherfucker. Tonight, in about 6 hours and 20 minutes, about 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be doing the second video game for the Spook Sixular. The Spook Sixular. That's right. It's happening. Part 2 of the video game portion will be happening on twitch.tv. Will I tell you what game I'm playing? Nope. I like to keep it a surprise. So there you go. But, there you go. So I would like to say we're going to enter the Q-Cock portion of the show. I'm trying to keep today's show a little short because I want to take a nap later. My arms are still very sore. Not as bad as they were yesterday. But again, I don't want to sit here too long, and I didn't do too much prep work either, I will say. But tomorrow, hopefully I'll be back to normal. So post your Q's, post your cocks, except for I have the hugest, most girthiest, pretty cock, 8 equals D. Post nothing, please. Oh, that would be great. And then we'll move on to the movie review. I got one fuck mother of a movie review for you. It's going to be great. I love this goddamn dog. I'll tell you this much. Max the dog, he's in the post-heartworm section of his life, post-heartworm. And it's just great. You should play Dead Rising, Justin Vigil. I know you said earlier that you don't have a Twitch account. If you made a Twitch account and followed me on Twitch, I would play Dead Rising. That's the deal. So, how's that sound? That's a deal I'm willing to make. Let's see if you're willing to make that deal. And what you don't know is I was already planning on playing it. scratching my lip with my teeth. Anyway. Whew. I'm a medical marijuana, folks. It exists, and it's in my bloodstream. So, yesterday, I watched a film. That's right, the 17th film in this year's movie review portion of the Spook 6 Yalar. And yesterday, I watched Reanimator from, I believe it's 1985, 1980s regardless. Well, let's look at the poster. H.P. Lovecraft's classic tale of horror, Reanimator. It will scare you to pieces. So I will tell you this much. I'm not familiar with the source material, and I've never heard of this movie. I've never really heard of it at all. So I'm just throwing that out there. Wow. I gotta say, this movie, I was iffy on it. But, like, around, like, the 1/3 mark, when you really start to see the reanimating, it gets really good. So, I just want to say this. The effects in this movie, right? It's in that, like, peak fucking, period of 1980s horror where the effects are all practical and they look fucking great. In the 1990s, movies started to lean more into the CG, right, and then especially in the 2000s, right, and nowadays almost all horror is CG, but this is at like the peak of practical effects, and goddamn, the effects, the makeup, all of it just looks fucking great in this movie. Oh, it's so good. Now again, so let me describe the characters. There's a lot to talk about. I mean, there's one scene that honestly we'll get into there too, but anyway. So basically, a transfer student, whatever, someone who was studying abroad, comes back to the States, joins like a college, class or whatever, with a famous doctor, a medical doctor, and he needs to find some place to live, so he just crashes. He pays rent or whatever with some fellow students, and he asks for permission to use the basement. He wants to use the basement as his laboratory. And so then he goes into class and he starts arguing with the doctor because the doctor says that there's like a permanent death state that happens after like 6 to 12 minutes when the brain stem is cut off or whatever. And then he's like, oh, I don't think so. He gets into a fight with the doctor. The doctor is like best friends with the dean of the school, who the dean has a daughter who's dating the one of the guys that he's living with, this guy on the poster. And, like, the doctor also, like, really wants to fuck the dean's daughter. And it's, like, it is, like, I'm watching this movie, I'm thinking, like, okay, maybe he's just really creepy. I don't know. But, like, early in the movie, like, you can tell this guy's, like, really horny for the dean's daughter. And it's really just, like, the way he acts is just disgusting. So anyway, the main character, West, basically he develops a super drug. And I gotta say, the effects of the super drug, like the bright green shit, damn! Like, I just loved it. It was so good. It just looked great. It looked weird. It was very classic. I loved it. And so he resurrects a cat, the dean's daughter's cat, who went, who knows what happened to the cat? Did the cat get killed, or did the cat just mysteriously die? We don't know. That's never answered. It's more likely that West killed the cat to experiment on, but it's not confirmed. Which I do like, because he argues that that's not the case. He found the cat dead and then experimented on it. But anyway, so the cat comes back. They're freaking out. There's a zombie cat. Okay, so then their next strategy is we want to try this on a human. And so they go to the morgue to find a human to work on the reanimator juice, and then it works. And again, the human is freaking out because they're like, apparently like it only revives certain parts of their brain or some shit, or at least, depending on like the time, in between death and reanimation. And so anyway, so this guy freaks the fuck out. This is a zombie basically. And so then the dean finds out about these experiments, goes to the morgue to confront them. The dean basically gets fucking killed by the zombie, like, and wow, like he got fucked up by the zombie, like Jesus fucking Christ, right? Damn, like we're talking about bones all crunched into dust, like he got fucked up. So anyway, now the dean's dead, right? And the zombie's like, dealt with. And then West is like, all right, let's reanimate the dean. I mean, why not, right? Like, if we get found, we're going to go to jail anyway. So fuck it. Let's reanimate the dean. And so they use the reanimator juice on the dean. He comes back. He is mad as hell. He is mad as fuck. Right? And then people come over and they see that, like, I don't even really know how they get out of this, but somehow they explain it. And they don't get arrested, right? So anyway, so the dean goes to like the medical observatory, people think he's crazy. Then the doctor who was arguing with West realized, oh shit, that guy was reanimated. That explains it. He's dead. He's a zombie. So then he gets on to West. He tries to like extort West, to like take his research and steal it. There's like a kerfuffle. And the scene where West takes a shovel. Okay, I'm sorry, but like West takes a shovel and chops the doctor's head off with the shovel. I mean, like when I'm watching that scene, that's when I realized, oh, this is one of those movies. It's gonna get real fucked up. Like as if the movie wasn't fucked up before that part. But when the motherfucker cuts his head off with a shovel, you can tell, oh, okay, this is getting fucked up. This is some fucked up shit that we're watching, right? But then he gets knocked out or some shit happens, right? He gets knocked out. He wakes up and the zombie doctor is gone. Or like, no. So he tries to reanimate the head, and the body, right? Because he's dumb. He doesn't like, tie them down. So then the zombie doctor knocks him out. I don't know if he should have killed him there, but maybe he thought he did. I don't know. So anyway, okay. So now we have a headless zombie doctor who's carrying his head around. All right. And he's a zombie. Okay. So that's great. So then the zombie doctor goes and gives a lobotomy to the dean zombie and turns him into like a loyal zombie soldier, right? And then the zombie doctor, finds a way to kidnap the dean's daughter. And this is, this scene, again, this is the craziest scene of the movie. So the zombie doctor uses the dean, who's also a zombie, who's lobotomized, to strip down his own daughter. She's completely naked. And then now again, I want to remind you all that the zombie doctor is headless. He has no head. Okay? Like the head is being held by a hand, right? So the headless head of the zombie doctor then starts like sucking down on her nipples and like licking her whole body. And it is like really intense and gross. And it was hard to watch. I was freaking the fuck out. It was so disgusting. Like, and there's like blood everywhere, and it's just like, oh my God. Like, why? How is that even allowed? Like, Motion Picture Association, please do something about this. So anyway, it was basically pornographic. And I, typically, I don't consider that to be a bad thing, but damn, it was intense. It was intense. I don't know what to tell you. It was because the whole movie, the doctor, who's now the headless zombie doctor, like, he's very obviously horny for her, right? But like, I don't know, to see that, like, I don't know, man. Like, there was some brutal rape going on. So anyway, that happens. And then there's like the final fight where like, oh, it turns out that the zombie doctor reanimated all of the people in the morgue and lobotomized all of them. So now they're all loyal zombie soldiers. There's a big ass fight at the end. They're fucking around. They're like, it's pretty epic, honestly. And I gotta tell you, this movie, damn, it's a movie. I don't even know what to say. Like, I watched this on Shudder, which is on it's on AMC Plus, and it's a fucked up movie. It's gross, but it's so gross, and it takes like the grotesqueness so far that I can't help but respect it. But damn, the headless zombie rape scene is, I wouldn't have seen that one coming. But anyway, yeah, so, they get fucked up. It's a movie. There's, apparently there's sequels to this. I'm interested. I don't know if I'll watch them, tonight or anything, but I am interested. But damn. That's Reanimator. Yep. I don't know what else to say, but the effects are great. The makeup is great. And, I never thought I would say this, but the rape, it's great. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, that's Reanimator for you. Spook Sixular is, it's going great. So there you go. That's all I got to say on the movie. But yeah, once again, I will be doing a Twitch stream today. The second video game of the Spook Sixular, the second video game portion, will be live tonight on Twitch. I wasn't sure, but you know what? I feel like in 6 hours, I'll be so heavily marijuana induced that I'll be able to get through. And so there you go. I'm just going to let you know. Okay, I'm going to give you... I already know what I'm going to play tonight. It's goofy. You are going to enjoy it. If you like Max the dog, or just dogs in general, but especially Max the dog, you will enjoy tonight's Spook Sixular game. Follow me on Twitch. Again, I'll be live at around 7 p.m. Not exactly 7. Just, bear with me here. I don't like exact scheduling, but... in about 6 hours from now, check it out. It's going to be great. Yeah, it should be fun. But if anyone has any more questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to field them in my direction. And if you got any horror movie recommendations, I'm watching at least one a day, all the way up until I hit 50. So again, 17 out of 50. We're not even halfway there yet. So that's, still got a lot of content left. That's why I started the Spook Sixular halfway through September. Because Christmas gets earlier and earlier every year. But can Christmas outpace Halloween? Is Christmas, let's be honest, right? Halloween is the early Christmas kill, right, day. There's no way early Christmas people can get past Halloween. It's not going to happen. You are not going to find someone shopping around for Christmas decorations on October 15th, on October 26th. It's just not going to happen, okay? Halloween, on the other hand, right? You can extend that shit all the way down to fucking December 26th. Fuck it. You know what? Halloween year-round. Fuck it. I'll celebrate Halloween on Jesus' birthday. Jesus wasn't even born in December, these stupid fucking idiots. So, I'm just throwing that out there. So Halloween's getting earlier and earlier every year. And so that's why I started the Spook Sixular halfway through September. Courtney, shut the fuck up. Anyway, that's the show. That's what's happening. We're getting into phase 2 of the Spook Sixular. Phase 2 is where I play video games. And that's what's happening tonight. Prior to the why are you making me scroll up, Mila? Just copy and paste that shit. Why are you making me scroll up? I'm scrolling. I don't see you. Work obligations, is that it? What? Okay, here's my comment. It's going to be a surprise, but expect something really great from the Bernard Sanders story. Oh boy. The goddamn Bernard Sander. Oh boy. Basket case 1 through 3. If I can find them. Yeah, but right now I'm in the random movies. I'm just scrolling through, Dead End Joker, member for 2 months. Literally the coolest, which is the highest tier. Factor this in. Literally the coolest. Mother Blanker has arrived. Happy goddamn YouTube membership anniversary, despite the anniversary being 2 days ago. Well, It's a spiritual anniversary, so thank you. That's the show. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. The COVID shot really fucks with my sleep. Every time I wake up 38 times every night for the last 2 nights. I just can't sleep. So, because I'm a tosser and turner. I toss, I turn. And so I'm always landing on my arm. God damn, it's frustrating. But the medical marijuana has kicked in. The medicinal alcohol has kicked in. That's right. That's right. It's not the only thing in this coffee, let me tell you. But where's that dog? Maxie! Max! 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 He's coming under the desk. Maxie, say hi for the camera. You gotta get on screen. They want to see you. You may notice that there's a lot of tennis balls. And, needless to say, Max is enjoying the tennis balls, so. Oh, there he goes. Alright, y'all. That's the show. Y'all have a good one. And I will see you in 6 hours on Twitch.tv.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
They had a very bad original concept. It was carried out poorly, and the cover-up was one of the worst in the history of cover-ups. It's very simple. Bad deal, should have never been thought of. Somebody really messed up, and they had the worst cover-up ever. And where it should have stopped is at the deal standpoint when they thought about it, because whoever thought of that idea, I think is in big trouble.
All of a sudden we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA anymore. All of a sudden we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA anymore.
On political corruption, we are going to restore honor to our government. In my administration, I'm going to enforce all laws concerning the protection of classified information. No one will be above the law.
They're coming all over the place. They weren't coming because they couldn't get in. Once they think they can get in, they're coming, and they are coming at levels that you haven't even seen yet. Everybody comes in, your grandmother, your father, your mother, your brother, your cousins. They come in so easily, so crazy, so crazy.
No, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.